Welcome to Passing Notes
I'll write it
Podcast.
and you read it.
Okay. Okay, Kale.
Sorry,
Thank you, Kale. Thank you, Kale.
Oh yeah,
Thank you for getting it. Thank you.
oh yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Smelling what I'm stepping in?
Oh yeah,
I'm drinking my Kool-Aid?
it reeks. Sorry, Jack. Would you like to try again?
No, we're good. That was it. Passing Notes, sharing music across generations. Before I hand it off to Faza and get into the album of the week, we have a comment from last week's podcast that was the Alternative Champs. Welcome to Fort Awesome from none other than the infamous Jaders himself.
Love you, Jay.
Big ups to the J-Man. He says, when you guys talked about So Damn Happy, how did you not mention the guitar riff sounds just like the riff in Nirvana's Come As You Are? Bart specifically talked about that riff and didn't speak on that similarity. I don't know. Listen to them both back to back. Maybe I'm just crazy.
I'm playing it right now.
But I just thought it was weird because I wouldn't.
Actually, I know that one of the Come As You Are, the doo 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 doo. That's like what the Come As You Are one is. Is So Damn Happy really like that?
I don't know. He says,
Is he talking about? Go ahead.
He said, I just thought it was weird because I wouldn't call that Nirvana song a summertime song, in quotes.
Come on, Jaders. I mean, just because...
Yeah, you might have to get outside of your box a little bit with that one.
Just because the guitar has some of the same notes doesn't mean the feel of the whole song is the same as the other.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it really is. Okay. I mean, I just straight up didn't notice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess if you do pick up on that, maybe your perspective of the song changes. But the way it sounds in this song, it doesn't have that, any kind of dark tinge Nirvana vibe to it to me.
Right. You can't go around singing So Damn Happy and think of a Nirvana song.
Unless you're trying to be very ironic.
Unless it's Lake of Fire.
But anyway, I think it was super cool you noticed, though, and I'm in a little bit of disbelief, like slapping my forehead that I didn't.
There's also a second half. I'm also glad you introduced me to Kicking Ass. That song is 100% being played the next time me and the boys play some soccer at the Y. My personal favorite, no disrespect to Yitten Yeah Yeah.
Yes.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Keep kicking ass, Jay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Appreciate the comments. It's always
and
fun.
Taking names and putting your foot up their ass.
Yes. Mowing their
lawn.
Yep. All right. And now to throw it over to Father to announce what we were listening to this past week. What were we listening to, Dad?
All right. Well, first let me introduce myself. My name's Mark. I have here along with me my son Jack, who introduced us this time around.
Yeah.
Also Bart, also a son, and Kale, who I think of
AKA the Faceless Man.
I was going to say something else, but I'll say son as well. This week, ladies and gentlemen, a band.
We're off to a great start here. Whoa, gains loud.
Yeah. A band,
Let me turn that down.
my favorite band for a number of years, The Doors. Formed in 1965, no one sounded like The Doors before, in my opinion, and no one has since. And if ever there was a band that the whole is much more than the sum of its parts, I would say it was The Doors. Jim Morrison's unmistakable baritone would not be legendary without the signature keyboards of Ray Manzarek. You got the vastly underrated guitar work and lyrical input of Robbie Krieger, and the versatility of the drummer, John Densmore. The Doors, ladies and gentlemen. I first heard them as a 9-year-old kid. My oldest brother brought home the album L.A. Woman. And that voice, I love certain voices, and Jim's voice just cut through everything. Then in the 80s, I came back to the Doors, found I still loved their sound. And after reading the Morrison biography, No One Here Gets Out Alive, which I highly recommend if you're into the Doors, I was hooked even more on this band that created such epic music under such ugly circumstances, primarily Jim Morrison's alcoholism.
Mhm.
So, one quick story, though, if I could be indulged.
Okay.
My favorite Doors story before we get into our tracks. Jim, after leaving home, stopped communicating with his family, and they had no idea he was in a band with a hit album. A neighbor saw Jim on the cover of the first Doors album, brought it over to the Morrison family. Jim's straight-laced Navy man dad's response was to promptly write Jim a letter advising he quit that nonsense because he didn't have any talent as a singer. From that point on, when asked about his parents, Jim would say they were deceased. Oh, Jim. All right, so let's kick off the tracks.
Funny guy.
This, again, it's not a particular album. This is a playlist of my version of their greatest hits, and almost identical to Spotify's version. And our first track is Hello, I Love You. Who would like to take the reins?
Oh, God. We probably should have discussed this, huh?
We say that every week.
Yeah. Let me just go, I guess. I'll just kick us off.
All right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, Hello, I Love Ya. It's a pretty straightforward, kind of simple song musically, but man, oh man, is it kind of catchy. It's written about a girl Jim and Ray saw passing by, according to Ray's book titled Light My Fire. Super catchy tune that will get stuck in your head, and if it sounds familiar but you don't know why, it may just be because it was based off the song All Day and All of the Night from the Kinks.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it turns out there was a guy who thought it sounded familiar. So much so that the Kinks threatened a lawsuit to the Doors, and the Doors just say, we agree. And ever since when the song is played in the UK, the band collects royalties on the song. So there you go. Fire
Love
tune.
the Kinks.
I've known it for a long time. I think I've known most of these songs for a long time. I think thanks to my upbringing. Great tune. Pretty simple, but catchy, quick and easy.
Yeah, I called. Wait, am I coming in clear?
Yep.
Or am I laggy?
No, you're good.
I'm okay. Okay. I know that this wasn't an album, but I called this one Old Familiar. This list. Just because whether it's a sample or something Dad was probably playing in the background, or just one of the big hits that I actually knew, or in other strange circumstances as we'll get through the tracks, but there's just a lot of songs on here. Even though I didn't know their name, I was like, oh, I know this.
Right.
Oh, I know this. So it just felt appropriate. For this song, I was so late. I shouldn't say I was lazy. I had a really crazy week this week. Please don't hold it against me, but it's going to be reflected in my notes. But I knew that this song was like, what is this? I know this, but it isn't this song of this. But I never looked it up. So that's why I exclaimed so much when you said it, Jack, because I was like, oh, of course, that's what the words I know are. Yeah, this one's. I mean, it's. I like it. It's very catchy, like Jack said. I feel like it's hard not to like this one. It's so simple but catchy.
There are very few bands, in my opinion, that I think will stand the test of time, and I think the Doors are definitely one of those groups. I've heard this song countless amount of times, and I've heard it now a countless plus 15 amount of times. Um, that's not to say they're a bad group because they're not. I love the Doors, absolutely love them. And Jim Morrison, obviously, one of the greatest frontmen and band leaders in rock and roll history, probably musical history for that matter. Controversial, sexy, uh, strange, weird, different, troubled, and all around fabulous. Great voice. Um, but for some reason, I didn't grow up listening to the Doors very much because my parents not really big into the Doors. But myself, I thoroughly enjoy them, and this song in particular is no exception. I love that Mark mentioned the greatness of the two other musicians, other than the fame and notoriety of both Raymond Manzarek and Jim Morrison, those being the drummer, John Densmore, and the great uh, Robbie Krieger on guitar. Um, and this song to me is it's wonderful. It's a short little tune, but it's really radio friendly. It's really catchy. It has a great hook. It's very singable and hummable. And frankly, that's pretty much true throughout the entire playlist. Although not one of their more psychedelic songs, but it is one that I still love and I still appreciate, and one that I'm really happy to say I'm a fan of. Um, and kind of in my listening, I forgot how great this band was. Um, in my quest for strangeness, I lose track of those really great artists who were played on mainstream radio. And the Doors were certainly no exception to that. And if anything, they did it better than many other bands. Um, I love the Doors, and I'm really glad that you opened with this track. I do have a question though. Was there a particular order or thought process, Mark, to the order of the tracks?
There was indeed.
Please share.
It wasn't overly scientific, but one, how do you? I mean, "Hello, I Love You" seems like an obvious kind of introduction song. And then it was, well, I don't want, a bunch of their poppier stuff together. Don't want the more psychedelic stuff together. So I wanted to break it up a little bit in both the sound and from what album things were from. And so it was kind of a walking a line there, trying to find a decent, and I guess "Hello, I Love You" and "Touch Me" are two that to me are somewhat similar. They're poppy for the Doors. They're maybe a little more upbeat, both lyrically and musically than some of their stuff. Which I wanted to avoid, but that's those two. But I wanted to make sure it started very upbeat before, you get into a 7-minute slogger. There's a new name, Slogger.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like it. I like it.
Slogger alert. So yeah, shaking it up a bit as you go through there. Hopefully, I mean, if I'd have done "Hello, I Love You," "Touch Me," "Love Me Two Times," "People Are Strange," and "Love Her Madly" all together, one after another. that could have got old. Anyway, so hopefully how they laid out worked all right for people.
Well, imagine how this podcast would have gone if Cal went. There's not a lot of bands that stand the test of time, and the Doors. It's just not one of them. I absolutely hate this band. I was kind of waiting for it, but I just thought it was fun.
It's really hard. It's really hard to hate this band.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard because the songs are so good, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I just thought it was a funny thought.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would be surprised that since I like Hello, I Love You, that I've always dug that Kinks song. Always loved it. And I guess I'll apologize to my podcast mates here that I keep underestimating you, that you all know all of these songs. The reason I didn't do an album was because I didn't want you to miss one of their best songs. Had I known everybody was already that familiar with all of these songs, then I would have done an album to introduce you to a few other, album tracks. So I'll try not to make that mistake again.
Well, here, I think I can speak on me and Bart's kind of behalf. I don't think you should necessarily blame yourself because I don't think we realized how familiar we were with the Doors. Oh, he's gone. Well, I won't say that.
Hey, it's not me. It's not me. Yes. I'm so stoked. It's not me. For a second, I was like, oh my God, did I he somehow lag out for me only?
Hello.
So I was saying, I think we've also probably misjudged how often we've heard the Doors just being raised as one of your sons and being familiar. Like when I heard you said it's the Doors, I'm like, I'm not sure I know who that band is. And then I go listen to it. I'm like, I know Break On Through. Wait, hang on. I know Halo, I Love You. I'm like, Riders on the Storm, hang on. Light My Fire, come on. And then I don't recognize the titles of some of these, but then I'm listening to it. I'm like, I know all of these songs. What is going on? And I'm like, how come zero of these have been
pretty
saved
much how my
ever?
experience was too.
Yeah. So I don't think you're completely at fault here. I can't speak for Cab, but
as one of your other sons, one you didn't want.
That's cold. And so untrue.
Okay. This week at least.
Right. Yeah. Here's my 2 cents on Hello, I Love You. I love the fuzzy sound, fuzzy guitar on it. And I mean, come on. What a great line. Hello, I love you. But there's other great lines in this song that just slay me. Her arms are wicked and her legs are long. When she moves, my brain screams out this song. And then sidewalk crouches at her feet. That is so awesome. I mean, she is a power to be reckoned with. This sidewalk crouches at her feet. Do you hope to make her see you, fool? Do you hope to pluck this dusky jewel? That's tremendous. I never get tired of the lyrics in this song. It is a psychedelic slapper. All right, let's
slapper.
Let's move on to Touch Me.
Yeah, come on, now. Gotta love the tone Jim sings this tune, especially right at that start, man. It's so good. Come on, now, touch me, babe. And with the brass and the string accompaniment, his vocals almost take on an operatic or theatric sound. I mean, it's amazing. it just amplifies the song so much. Just those little quiet strings and brass in the background. It's just like, damn, that dude's a lot. And you guys know me. You know me. I'm a sucker for an orchestra and bass. You know me. And this really knocks it out
You
of
know
the
what I'm
park.
saying?
You guys listen to a few episodes of Press and Notes podcast. You know that I like the press. Man, yeah. I mean, and of course, we can't talk about the song and then not talk about the absolute slapper sax solo. I mean, come on. Curtis, my man, demolishes this track. I believe that was the name. Obviously, he's not a band member officially, but I believe that's the guy who does the sax. And it really kills it and finishes the song out in a high note. Man, this song is awesome. I mean, it starts off strong. Come on, now touch me, babe. And then goes out with the sax. Man, it's the climax all the way through. Fantastic tune. Gotta love it. It's attempting for the vault for sure. That's what I gotta say.
Ooh.
It's running.
It's you, Kale.
Or was it Bart?
Is it me? I thought it was Bart.
He chatted that skip him this song. He's lagging.
Okay. Come on now, touch me, babe. Everybody knows that one, but I am telling you for the life of me, when I was a kid, I heard this song, and it was before I was really musically cognizant and really paid attention to bands and artists and stuff. But the I'm gonna love you was ingrained into my psyche. It's so good. The orchestra is phenomenal. The solo is fantastic. And Jim has never sounded more suave, so debonair, so sultry.
So sober.
Oh, God.
Oh, sober. Exactly. I mean, he's doing like a Dean Martin impression in this song. Except for the come on, now touch me. But then he goes into the bridge or the verse, excuse me, and he's a crooner. And I love it. And just the versatility of the chorus and the verses is enough to sell anybody, even the most anti-Doors people on the planet. Even my mom actually likes this song. And it's impossible not to. This song is so great. You don't have to be intoxicated to enjoy it, and I don't think Jim needs to be intoxicated to sing it. And I think this song really, really, really speaks for itself. I'm gonna love you till the heavens stop the rain. I'm gonna love you till the stars fall from the sky for you and I. That's all you need right there. That's great. So great songwriting. Love this track.
Yeah, I want to comment on that soberness here, quick, Dad. I think I read somewhere that this was the only song he couldn't sing in the studio or something because he couldn't be drunk singing it. I think is what I read, is that he couldn't sing it drunk. He had to be sober to sing it.
There you have it.
I mean, and I think it's kind of evident. I mean, the skill he does in the song. I mean, it's going. I mean, more than the typical thing where he's kind of like doing the dark baritone kind of mumbly thing some of the times. Not that that's a bad thing. That's great too. But this side, like, you don't hear from him a lot, and it's fantastic. He could be a totally different genre, man. He could be a Frankie Sinatra, you know.
He was a big fan of Sinatra, from what I've read, and other crooners. And you're absolutely right. I mean, though no one sounds just like Jim, like some of those other crooners, his voice just soars on that. I don't know if you call that the chorus or the second chorus or a reprise. Or, you know, it's maybe not technically the chorus, but it kind of acts as the chorus. So good, but just a nice range musically from that fast tempo beginning thumper to the slow melodic love song makes this dynamic and easy to like. Terrific, I think.
I would say that this song is basically three hooks put together. It's
Yeah.
the bum, bum, ba, da, 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 which is really like ritzy and really kind of Broadway schmaltzy. But then there's
Carnival.
the chorus, the chorus, which has the can't you see that I am not afraid? And then the it's literally it's almost three different songs in one 3 and 14 minute song. Which is amazing to me. That's
Yeah.
really, really, really awesome.
In
I
one
mean,
pie song. 3
yeah,
slices of a pie.
exactly.
It's a bonus. It's a
Boner,
deal.
for sure.
Oh, well, as well known as these first two songs are, which kind of surprised me. I mean, I know, granted, they're hits, but they're kind of smaller hits from long ago, as opposed to, a couple of these songs are, up there in the annals of classic rock singles or album tracks, if you will. Well, however you want to look at that. And cut number 3 is one of those. It is L.A. Woman.
I mean, the first lyrics are hysterical to me every time. The combo of the lyrics and the execution just gets me giggling every time. I just got in the town about an hour ago. Take a look around, see which way the wind blow.
Who doesn't love to mumble along with Jim on that? I mean, my
Yeah.
God, it's like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
part of a club because you know what he's saying and nobody knows what he's saying. But once you find out what the lyrics are, you're part of the club,
Right.
and
Like
you
that
can slur them along.
Yeah, that first line is just all mumble. I never knew what that was. But the second line, and that's the first line is the build up. You're like, oh, mumble, I don't understand what he's saying. And then he hits you with, see which way the wind blow. Like, that's the execution of the joke. Like, why does he sing it like that? I don't know, but it's funny. Man rolls
Jim
up.
Morrison.
Yeah, man rolls up into
Going.
town. Rolls up into town, licks his finger, holds it up, and is like, the wind's blowing this way. Cool, good thing to know. Like, what? Whatever. Great. Love it, man. And man, that intro is just a groove, and it's these moments and these multiples of these songs that it makes me ask myself, like, do you think these guys like jazz at all? And
You like jazz?
the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I like jazz. Come on. I mean, with these grooves and just this constant bass and piano and drumming going on, it's like, and then the improv that comes in these 8-minute long songs. It's like, these guys dig jazz. Like, come on. These were jazz guys.
Oh, yeah.
And, my man Mr. Mojo Rising kills it vocally throughout. There's not a part about this track that's not a banger. Definitely giving the Vault a run for its money again, bro. That's 2 already, and we're on the 3rd song. What?
Oh, yeah. L.A. Woman. L.A. Woman. I love this song so much. I think I know what's great about it, other than the lyrics that you have to go look up. It does not get boring at any point. There's not a second of boredom lyrically and especially musically. If you look at the way that the song is arranged, you start out with your basic structure. You've got your verse and then your chorus and then another verse and then another chorus. But then they do this amazing thing where they take the song and then they go, you know what? Let's get rid of the song and just slow our music down and just build it as from the ground up again. Mr. Mojo Rise. And then just build and build and build and build as fast as you can go. And it doesn't get boring ever. The song will never get boring. because Jim is going crazy, Ray's going crazy, and John and Robbie are going crazy, and it's great. My favorite pieces of alliteration right here: Motel Money, Murder Madness.
Yes.
I love that so much. It's so great. There are just so many good lines in here. I see your hair is burning, hills filled with fire. I love that so much. Um, I don't know who Mr. Mojo. Well, actually, I do know what Mr. Mojo. Never mind. But yeah, this song is great.
Yeah. Mr. Mojo Rising, an anagram for Jim Morrison, which I never realized for the longest time. So that's cool. Definitely some epic slurring, and it sounds so good on this one, as well as another one coming up. But I agree with everything. So many great lines. Some that you mentioned. Another one, are you a lucky little lady in the city of light, or just another
Yep.
lost angel? And just the repetition of LA woman Sunday afternoon, that is a great hook in of itself that I dig. Hypnotic. Yeah, a great gritty ode to the city of angels and the women who reside there. LA woman. And let me check. I don't think we have no, Bart's not ready. So we will move on to Roadhouse Blues.
Yeah, well, personally, not the biggest fan of the blues as a genre. The Doors are just so dirty with it, they make it hard to at least not tap your foot along. I mean, woo, sheesh. I mean, great piano.
Did you like the song, Jack?
Yeah.
Well, great piano, bass, and harmonica work to make it definitely blues sounding. The guitar having a stellar solo with a little bit of that piano to keep it saucy during. Then the random scat train from Morrison is hilariously good to no surprise. You know, it's definitely one I got to be in the right mood for because it's that blues genre. I mean, most of the songs from this point on have some sort of blues going on. But it's not so overwhelmingly blues as this song. This one's just the most blues out of the rest of them. They all have hints of blues going on, but that's just kind of how the Doors are. They're a combination of jazz, poetry, classical music. I mean, there's an organ in there 3/4 of the time. This one's the bluesiest song, in my opinion. So it's one I have to be in the right mood for, but when I'm in it, man, to quote last week, when I'm there, you know that's where I'm at. Not directly. When I'm in Rockingham, you know that's where I am.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah, paraphrasing. When I'm in Jazztown, you know that's where I'm at. Or
when I'm in
Bluestown.
the Roadhouse, you know I'm in the Roadhouse.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
man.
Hold on, I think I can go.
There's
Can you
Bart.
hear me?
Yay!
Okay, I'm hopping just in time to trash this one. Okay, I'm having a hard time. I'm hopping in just for this. No, not totally. Okay, so Jack, I didn't catch everything you said when you were saying like I know that's where I am. Was that like that you're in a bar, saloon kind of thing, or what?
No, I'm saying I'm not always in the mood for blues, but when I am, you know that's where I am. Like here in this song. Like if I'm in the mood for blues, this is where I'm at.
Okay. Well, for me, this one, the title's right on the nose. I mean, it's called Roadhouse Blues. This reminds me of like you're in a movie scene, some shit's about to go down in like the saloon or like the local watering hole where they got a jukebox. And yeah, I don't know. It's just that atmosphere is perfect. I don't particularly like the sound, But I cannot deny the grab myself a beer. Like the way he says beer is just, I don't know, man. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that, and I can't get it out of my damn head. So I don't really like this song, but I'll listen to it just to hear that, just to hear it.
All right.
This might be the greatest song to drive to of all time. This song is made to be driven to. I mean, I'm ready to get behind the wheel of my, BMW, the old hippie van, put on my tie-dye shirt, my rose-tinted glasses, and turn this song all the way up. I love this song so much, in fact, that it has, in fact, been added to several playlists of mine, particularly my road playlists. I forgot how fun this song is and just how soulful Jim Morrison is. I mean, okay, let's just look here. We're at which number is this? Is this number 4? Yeah, it is. So we're 4 songs in and we've heard jazz, we've heard blues, we've heard a little bit of orchestral music. I mean, that's 3 genres right there, and we're not even done. It's amazing. And this song, um, it's bluesy as all get out, and I think nobody else should sing it but Jim Morrison, because he channels something in this song that's really deep, and it's this deep tradition of like guys who are down on their luck and stuck in bars and can't get out and are still playing the blues, and life just keeps getting them down. And telling a little bit about who Jim Morrison was, and the troubled life that he led, excuse me. He had a reason to sing the blues, and this song does so, and is wildly entertaining and fun, and a great performance. It's almost like I can close my eyes and I can see him performing this song when I hear it. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Like his every fiber of his being he poured into this song. And that's what makes it a classic and a great one and a hell of a fun road song.
Yeah, that's exactly how I look at this song. Driving down the road. Absolutely. It's a bluesy and boozy banger. Banger alert.
Banger alert.
Banger alert. I mean, how can you not think of this as a road tune when he sings, "Keep your eyes on the road, your hands upon the wheel"? And I believe beer is beer. Get myself a beer.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Having heard so many of the other Doors songs so many times and played them, this is probably my favorite Doors song and has been for a while now, because some of the others, as they get a little burn factor, this one hasn't. I've just kind of been drawn to more and more of the nuances in this song, and dig it. This is definitely the Doors at their bluesy best, and Jim at his boozy best, for sure. And great line in this one: "The future is uncertain and the end is always near." There's an uplifting thought for you. I love it. Great.
Good.
Great. Let's move on to
Love me two time, baby.
a little more upbeat tunage, lighter topics. Love Me 2 Times.
Well, I'm not so sure that it's too much lighter. Yeah, it's like people going off to war or them going off to tour. They're like, come on, babe, we gotta go like twice at least, man. Give me one for the day and the other to go. Or if you're taking it the war way, you're like, I gotta go, babe. I need you one last time. Whatever. It's pretty similar tempo and sound wise to that last track. Just maybe a little bit less bluesy. And I just think that the way they play one after the other, and the song just seems kind of like a worse kind of repetition of the last song a little bit. Their sound is just so similar to me, where it's just like, I just heard this and better too. So like, I didn't enjoy it a whole lot, you know. I mean, the harpsichord makes it a little unique. It's just all right for me.
Yeah, I gotta stand by you on that one, Jack. I don't know if it's the placement. I think partially it could be that this is one of the ones on the list I was least familiar with, and I only got around to this playlist like 1.75 times this week. So this song got maybe 2 plays. Yeah, it is a problem. But I don't know. I wrote I need to revisit this one because I don't think I have a fair judgment of it. But I agree. Initial impressions didn't grab me.
Love Me 2 Times, baby. I love this song too. This is another great one. I can agree to some extent that yeah, it's a little repetitive. It's a little, it's not as brilliant lyrically. It's nice. It's a very good song. It's very friendly, very radio playable, but still with an element of psychedelia. But musically, this song is fabulous. The harpsichord, as Jack mentioned, is brilliant. And just for some Doors trivia, there is technically no bass player for the Doors. However, Raymond Manzarek was known to play the bass and the keyboards on a lot of the Doors tracks. Naturally, it's a great keyboard bass track. Brilliant. And some great work from my man John and my man Robbie. And Jim does a great job. Definitely not one of my favorites, but definitely not one that I'm sick of by any means. And hey, not everybody's cup of tea, but luckily it's not too long of a Doors song anyway.
Well, gents, this is another favorite of mine right now. A close second, in fact, to Roadhouse Blues.
Oh.
Hey there, pal. I think you just unplugged your mic or something.
Me?
Yeah, well.
Can you hear me now?
Very quietly. Maybe unplug it back in.
How funny is it that like you have such a specific sound that you're into right now? I feel like that you picked these two right next to each other. They're your top two. Like we clearly have contrasting opinions about this sound versus other sounds. I don't know. It's very interesting to me.
Well, part of it.
Oh, you are so.
Oh
so
no, he's underwater, boys. Get out of there, Scuba Steve. Get out of the submarine, dude.
Hello. How about now?
Oh God, no, not quite.
No.
No, it's all kind of scratchy.
What's the crackly radio line in Yellow Submarine? Don't they say something in Yellow Submarine?
Oh yeah, I don't remember what it is.
What's the line? I don't remember it.
Let me pull
Live.
Something like that.
Love that movie. It's a good one.
Oh, they don't got the
Oh,
intro.
I like singing along with this guy, the Doors guy.
Yeah.
Jim Morrison.
I feel like I can kind of get low. Or at least it's fun to try. It's fun to try, you know.
Down on it.
How are you gonna do it if you really don't want to dance?
You got me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me
That's
now?
weird. Sorry, gents, but I think part of that is a radio issue because I didn't really play Roadhouse Blues or Love Me Two Times on the radio.
Sure.
Where LA Woman certainly was, Touch Me was. I mean, so I think part of it is fatigue from playing them myself on the air, where these didn't. It's not so much. I don't know if it's so. It might be part of the sound, but I guess I don't put Roadhouse Blues as much like Love Me Two Times as the rest of you. I think it because it goes from melodic to rowdy to back again. So I think it's pretty interesting musically, and it's amusing lyrically. I think the lyrics are kind of funny. So anyway, bigger fan of that, but maybe that's after the rest of you burn out more on the others.
Did anyone else interpret Love Me Two Times as being, what's the expression, don't two-time me? Here's Jim Morrison saying, I want you to two-time me. I just think it's funny. I like that.
He likes being a cuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey now,
What are we on? Light My Fire?
Light My Fire.
Big jazz song here, especially in the verses. Everyone knows this tune. It was and is a big hit. Come on, baby, light my fire. I do have to be in the right mood to sit down and really enjoy the full 5 minutes of organ improv, but it's a great song nonetheless.
What? That's the best part.
Well, it has popped into my head randomly, haunting me for as long as I can remember.
Jack hates the jam. Doesn't like jamming.
Yeah, no. Hate jamming. Everything associated with jamming. Don't talk to me about it. So yeah, this song I've been haunted by for as long as I can remember.
No.
What's that?
Nothing. There's just, I couldn't. I just wanted to say the word jammer out. There's been so many words tonight. We've had like slogger,
Right.
and like new ones too. I mean, like new words. So I just wanted to get that you weren't a jammer out there.
Yeah. So it's haunted me for as long as I can remember, but I can 100% blame that on my father. And I'm just playing it. Probably the radio version. I'm not super familiar with the organ improv, but you know, it's not bad. Other than the improv, though, there's not a whole lot changing in the song. Not that it's a bad thing. And of course, Morrison's voice is as killer as per usual. I don't know much else to say about the song because everyone knows it and that it is kind of a banger. Which is crazy because they did take this song down for like 5 minutes, which is crazy. They just took out all the improv, which I believe, like the band was like, "What the? You took out all the improv?" And he's like, "Well, yeah. Well, imagine you're 17 and you're listening. You've never heard of the Doors, and this is what you heard of." And then the rest of the band was like, "All right, I kind of dig it. Never mind." So that's cool. A little bit of fun facts there, but good song all around. Like I said, it's been haunting me. It's great. Everyone knows it.
So are you saying that even the version we're listening to, the 7-minute version, is cut down?
No. The radio version.
Let's say it had to be cut down to like 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think I read it was like over 5 minutes because I think it was just no improv. It was just like the "Come on, baby, light my fire," which there's not a whole lot of lyrics if you're listening to it. Just normally, it's probably around 2.
Oh wow. Okay. There's something. Okay, I'm so glad I'm not lagging out because it was really bad leading up to this. This is at first I wrote down the voice and synth create kind of a spooky sound, but as I've been thinking about it leading up to this, I think what it reminds me of is like Scooby-Doo. Like, because I feel like there's some of that there's some of that synth sound, especially in Scooby Doo, and that's why it kind of gives it that. That's why I associate like spookiness to it or whatever. But I love the music in this one. I love the sound, the atmosphere. Jim doesn't really do it for me in this one. The chorus just kind of falls flat for me. I'm so, I mean, to me that synth dance break is disgusting. I love it. I live for that. Well, I don't know. This one is kind of like a theme with Doors songs, where there's so many things I really like about the song, but I never really love the song. Like I definitely don't hate listening to it, but it's not something that's going to make it into a regular rotation. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I didn't listen to it enough this week. I don't know.
For sure. Hey, while we got you here, did you want to touch on "Touch Me" and "L.A. Woman"? If you had anything.
Let's just keep it moving.
All right. Just thought I'd ask.
Cool. Come on, baby, light my fire. It's such a good. His voice is just so pretty. It's so pretty, and it can be gross. It can be dirty. It can be pristine. It can be proper. It's so good, and I love his voice on this track. And I'm polar opposite from Jack. I love the jam. I live for the jam.
We all know you would.
For me, the jam is great. I love the Grateful Dead, and they're legendary for their jamming. And I love the jam on this one. Let's give it up for the great late Ray Manzarek. One of the best intro keyboard riffs is so good. It's so awesome. It's so like dainty and fun and kind of and catchy as all get out. It's a hook. It's great. And I'm so glad that there's more jamming over top of it. I want to hear Ray play more. And these great musicians do what they do best, which is make music. And the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. In comparison with how much I love Touch Me and a few of the other tracks that are coming up, definitely not my favorite Doors song, but one that I think without it, I would have definitely said something. I would have been, "Where is Light My Fire?" Because it's significant to the band, but it's also a really good song and an important song in their catalog.
Yeah, obviously a classic, but due to that fact, there could be some ear weariness that happens with a song like this. That notwithstanding, yes, it's an epic jam. And in 1967, Light My Fire said everything that teenagers and young adults wanted to hear. The keyboards are just haunting, and Jim Morrison's vocals are tender at times and tough as nails at others. Just a great performance of a great song. Here's one I wasn't sure everybody would be familiar with. It is People Are Strange.
Yes. Probably the most unique song from the Doors, at least on this playlist anyway. IMO, that's in my opinion for all you Spanish speakers out there. Morrison changing his voice from his usual to a more haunting version, telling a story of alienation he must have been feeling during the stint of depression that he was in, that the song was written in, or was the thing that got him out of it. I think him and I think the guitarist went to go see the sunrise one morning, and this came to mind, or maybe it was sunset. It might have been sunset. And the song just came to him. He instantly went back home and wrote it, and he said he felt good to get back into writing. So this might have just got him out of that stint. It's kind of a fun tune with some fun juxtaposition of the music and vocals, with the vocals having that haunting sound, like I said, It goes, people are strange when you're a stranger. While the organ piano sound, what they opt for, kind of makes me think about carnivals or something of the like. Which maybe that makes sense, almost like he's calling himself a clown. Which, sure, he is a little bit of a clown, I could say. I enjoy this one a lot. I think just because it's such like almost like a taste breaker kind of from the Doors, from typical Doors. It's like they're usually like jazzy, bluesy, and then they hit you with this kind of melancholy, kind of dark vibes that they don't usually kind of get you, especially from the first two songs that we hear on this playlist. Is Bart here?
Evidently.
Not. All right, go ahead, Gil.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm back just in time. Wow, awesome.
Yay!
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. People are strange. Okay, I'll try and make it quick as the song before I leg out again. Super enjoyable, quick little jaunt. It's got just the right amount of hookiness, repetitive, but not detrimentally so. Why does this sound like another band to me? I don't know what vibes I was getting from something else we've done on this podcast, like that this sound was a little bit different than the rest of the songs on this album. Maybe it was my gut almost said a little bit of Arctic Monkeys, but I don't know, that didn't sound totally right either. And I couldn't tell you like what song I'd be comparing it to. So I'm just gonna dip out right here.
All right.
Oh yeah, another great one. One after the other. Love People Are Strange, because they are. To me, this is like I think the weirdness of this song and the uniqueness of the voice and the short sweetness of it is appropriate. There's not much else to say. People are strange when you're a stranger. It's great. It's wonderful. Definitely not one of my favorites because I think I'm just burnt out. I'm definitely burnt out of this song. But that does not mean it's not a good song because it very much is. And I can't help but think of the album art every time I hear this song with the very
Freak show, carnival.
The freak show, yes. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Because it's perfect. It totally fits the mood of the song very, very well. And I always think of a freak show every time I hear this song, and just like the Hall of Mirrors and strange things like that. And that sort of being as a metaphor for the strangeness of everyday life and people at the time. So it's a great one, but one that I think can get old.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see that. I just look at it. I try to look at it on a lot of these songs with a new ear, and how someone who's not tired of the songs could look at them. And this one, such a nuanced vocal beginning. God, just demonstrating again Jim's range and effectiveness as a singer. And, he's wasn't a trained singer at all. And it's just impressive to me, blows me away. And great line. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. It's terrific stuff. Okay, here is the biggest Doors banger of them all.
Oh, the granddaddy of all bangers.
It is Riders on the Storm.
Starts off with storm sounds, of course, very fitting. Yes, very smart. Another.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, God. Intelligent. I'm not sure why I did that, but it was funny. Another huge hit from the
That's
Doors.
really funny.
I love the way rain is used like an instrument in this song. Like it doesn't stop, and it's awesome. It's like a rain stick, but better because it's the actual rain, and they just use it as an awesome instrument that fits so well with the occasional sound of thunder. Man, and being a son of my father, I love storms, right? Like if it's a stormy night, I'm sleeping like a baby, right?
That's a Mark thing?
That's a Mark thing.
Isn't that? I mean, don't most people like that?
I have no idea. Actually, from most, especially women too, they are scared, so they don't like it.
All right.
From my experience. But I'm a huge fan of storms. If it's storming out before my bedtime, I'm going right on the porch. I'm watching it come in. I'm living in it. I'm sitting in it. I'm running around in it. If it's starting to rain, I'm sniffing that rain. Love the smell of fresh rain. It's so good. Not afterwards when the worms come out and have been pooping when they've been pooping for a few hours. Not so good. But the fresh rain, man, that's nice. That's nice. One of my favorite smells. Better than freshly mowed lawn, I gotta say. Anyways, I had never heard this before looking at Genius, but Morrison is also whispering the lyrics over or under his singing, which adds for a pretty haunting sound when you hear it, which is pretty cool. I had not heard that before, but I do like it. But also it kind of puts me on edge, so I'm not sure if I'm totally sold on it. Maybe I'll just try and tune it out, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. But it's very cool that he did that. But unfortunately, and this is the bad news, that was the last thing he did in his career. After that, he left for Paris like the week after, and then a few weeks after that, overdosed on heroin. Unfortunate. It's almost like he's haunting us, right? I mean, the biggest hit, he's whispering in your ear the whole time. I mean, he's still around. Giving you some sweet, weird poetry. Apparently, the premise of the song is loosely based on Morrison's screenplay that he wrote called The Hitchhiker, an American Pastoral, or HWY, an American Pastoral, which is about a hitchhiker who was a serial killer who would kill those who stopped for him. It was loosely based on that, as from what I read. I mean, but this song is killer, man. I will have to watch that movie. They made it, I think, after. And I think the actor is made to look like Morrison did, because he was going to play the character originally. But, great tune. I mean, you gotta love it. The rain, riders on the stone. Man, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm sure you guys got more to say. Let me bump out of here.
All right, how am I coming in? Is my mic hot?
Yeah, it's hot. Red hot.
Quite.
All right. Iconic, right? I mean, this shit's iconic. I got a little bit of a connection with this one personally. Jack, I'm sure you can attest to this. Kale, maybe, I don't know. When a video game has good music, first of all, that just gives it so many bonus points, but also what a treat. Because if it's a good game and it has good music, like, wow, you're really enjoying the experience. Plus, you got music you can take with you for life, potentially, or at least, whatever you're into right now. Excellent. So this song was in Need for Speed Underground 2, I believe. Could have been just Need for Speed Underground. I don't remember which one, right. But it was one of those. And Need for Speed, if the name doesn't give it away, is a driving racing video game. And if you've played them, the idea is that it's not like you're on a racetrack. You're driving around on the street, and you've got a tricked out car. You're driving a cool car, and it's in a cool backdrop. And what a perfect track to pair alongside that. I mean, that maybe it's just my experience, but to me, it's been rainy here in Des Moines this week. Oh, yeah. And I get up at I'm driving to work at 5 a.m., sometimes a little bit before, so it's still dark out. And when it's been like storming a little bit at 5 a.m. as I'm driving to work, I queue up Riders on the Storm on the way to work. And come on, you can't help but feel like a badass rolling in with that. It's just perfect, man. It's just perfect. Listening to it makes me feel cool and like I should be doing something cool. I'll say it one more time. Iconic.
Yeah, I meant to mention that, man. What a perfect week for this song. I mean, it was rainy 3 out of 5 days. Awesome.
Yeah.
This song is mysterious, both in sound, in lyrical content, and vocally it's performed mysteriously. And when you think of the lexicon of music, how many mysterious songs can you really think of? Not very many. I mean, you can think of millions and millions of love songs, but it's very difficult to think of songs that evoke mystery or danger or something dark lurking underneath the surface. And it is for these reasons that this is probably my favorite Doors song of all time. Musically, it's brilliant from start to end. Everything from the keyboard riffs to the very smart introduction with the storm itself, to the jazz-like beat, to the strange kind of subdued ambiance. For as big as the Doors sound could be, their quietness, I think, is what really makes them who they are, and their ability to be dark. For instance, the cover of their first album, the self-titled first album from 1967, is very dark and very shadow-like. And if that's going to be the album that you put your name on and self-title it, it damn well better, give some sort of hint as to what the style of the band is going to be. And I think from that, it was this kind of dark mystery. And it goes into my second favorite Doors song of all time, which is not on this playlist, which is The End, which is an 11-minute song, Jack, and it's a jam. It's a real jam. And it's dark. That song is very, very dark. And I love it. Yeah, I think the Doors, what sets them apart is their ability to be dark. And this is their opus. This is the magnum opus.
Yeah, you're right, Cale. I mean, that album cover, you're not going to pop out the album, put it on your turntable, and expect the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. This is another hypnotic classic, yes, and dark. Oh, so dark is right. There's a killer on the road. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Yeah, that's going to be a hit record. Yikes. And yet, and I think everybody's touched on pretty much everything. The keyboard notes just fall like rain. It's a magical sound, the way those fall with the sound of rain and work so well. Tapping out a tune is awesome. And this is a great kind of mid-tempo jam. And again, road music. You won't be tempted to pull over for a hitchhiker, but you will get down the road listening to this for sure. In fact, you'll probably speed up. Yeah. And yes, according to keyboardist Ray Manzarek, supposedly this was the last song recorded by the Doors. So that adds a little cherry on top to this track.
Oh,
next up is
one more thing about this. My favorite Doors line of all time. I like the line, "Mind is squirming like a toad." I really like that. It's almost funny, but it's so specific too. I really like that, and it's in this song. I really like that.
For sure. Next track is Love Her Madly.
When you love her madly.
I get some Grinder Man vibes from this song.
What?
Don't know if it's just me. They're not super strong, but I think they're worth mentioning. I don't know. I think it's maybe his tone. He sounds maybe a little bit like Nick Cave, a little bit with that deepness. Not really singing. It's more of that talky kind of deep. Oh, won't you love her madly? But yeah, love the chorus. It's kind of a whole different sound than the rest of the song, and I enjoy that difference. And the organ and the high pitch of the pingy guitar sound match up very nicely. Gotta love it. Solid tune. Apparently it was written about, I think, the guitarist's wife, who they've had for a long time, but it was a very, like, off and on, and they'd, like, cheat on each other all the time. So, like, that's kind of, like, what it was about. Like, you need to love her, like, and you keep loving her, like, even throughout, like, all the ups and downs of the relationship. Crazy that he would last that long in a relationship like that, but hey, man, love her madly. Madly.
Yeah, this one I'm just really dipping a toe into. I like this one, but I still need to spend some more time with it. So, Kale, I'm just gonna pass it to you.
Okay. Good. Luckily, I have heard this song to death, and yet I'm not really tired of it. I can still put it on, and I can still feel okay about it. It has another example of the great Ray Manzarek's guitar work. Oh boy, keyboard work. And the rest of the band, they're on fire in this track. It's really, really, really good. It's very hooky. It has that, well, don't you love her madly? We're getting back to Jim as the crooner again, which is always nice. It's nice to hear from Jim the crooner. It also has my favorite organ solo, I love that so much. It's almost like fanfare. I don't have a ton to say about this one, but I love it. And I think you just have to listen for yourself if you haven't already.
Crooner alert. Crooner alert. Why not?
More ER song words that we can
There's
use?
another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
There's
What a
another one.
crooner.
Yeah. Does anyone else pick up a little bit of a Beatles vibe on the music of this thing? I'm like,
No.
hey, I dig this. Yeah, the lyrics aren't rocket science, but it's got a super high hook quotient. So I'm in all day. I dig it. Love Her Madly, a fave.
Are you telling me don't you want to be her daddy, not an intelligent line? Because that's songwriting 101 if I ever heard it. Like, that's a genius.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's the smartest line I've ever heard. I still don't know what it means.
That is good. Well, I'm pretty sure I know.
I'd love to be enlightened.
Nah.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll just figure it
Maybe
Not on
when,
this
maybe
show.
when you're older. Maybe when you're older.
out.
I mean, it's just too obvious.
I'm just stupid. Okay.
Just too obvious. Next track and final track, Break On Through to the Other Side.
Break on through. I mean, what a banging tune to end it on. Which I'm not doubting that at all. I mean, personally, like, maybe if I was making the playlist, knowing what like this meant and in the context of their name, I might have put it as like maybe like the transition from like "Hello, I Love You, Touch Me" into like the more psychedelic side, because that's what it's all about, is breaking on through to that high from the trip, which is what the name The Doors comes from, which comes from the title of the playlist that did make, The Doors of Perception, which was the book that Jim read, they read, that they named it after, which The Doors of Perception was taken from the marriage of heaven and hell. kind of take situation.
Aldous Huxley.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about getting high and whatever. I mean, what a banging tune! The perfect blend of blues and rock and roll and everything that the Doors essentially is. I mean, this is. I mean, it's a banging tune, and there's 3 runners, right, for the vaults, and they're all there for different reasons, and we're just gonna have to find out which one it is. I mean, right? So I'll voice my opinions and what I think they are after we finish this. But to finish this song, they pull off that blend of blues and rock and roll so well all the time, constantly, and with the jazz. I forgot to mention that. I mean, like all 3 of those are in like every song. It's crazy. Morrison killing the vocals as always with the great performance of emotion and ad libs. I mean, he kills it. I mean, it's a great thing to end the playlist on. I mean, maybe we broke on through after the playlist. Maybe we're now there. Maybe we no longer need the music. Man, fantastic song.
Take
On the
it
other side.
on the other side.
Yeah. Hit it, Bart.
Are you done?
Yeah, get it.
Oh, I'm dead now. Wait.
No,
No, I'm not.
you're good.
Am I? I'm
Mike's
not.
hot.
Mike's hot. Mike's hot. Hot mic. Hot mic.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so when you guys listen to this, do you listen to it really loud, or does it not matter as much for you?
I think it definitely has more power loud. Like I've played it in Rock Band, and if it's loud and we're all jamming, I mean we're going. We're having a good time.
I only asked that because a lot of my listens were over my breaks and lunches at work. I was trying to get through tracks when I could. And when I'm listening either in my headphones or in my phone in the break room, I'm not usually listening very loud. Partially because I have to hear this walkie-talkie I carry around, but I don't know. I was just like I always felt like I could feel the energy behind this song, or like I knew it was there, but maybe I couldn't feel it because I wasn't like raging to it. So it was pretty weak for me in that setting, and I tried to listen to it in my car day really loud to see if it would hit with me, and it didn't quite, but I think I don't know. I see the potential, but this one is still like sitting dormant for me. I have not yet broken through to the other side yet.
Well, let me put a word in for the broken. This song, I dare say, sparked the psychedelic movement both in terms of music, and along with songs like White Rabbit and some stuff by Steppenwolf and other stuff. But I would say mainly those songs sparked the psychedelic movements of the 1960s. And
Whoa.
psychedelic sound for music.
Yeah, nice one you pulled off there. Great psychedelic sound.
Oh yeah. This song is the definition of 60s psychedelia. And that's precisely what it is. It's great. The chorus is awesome. And if you can't listen to it loud, Bart, I think you should listen to it loud. It hits a little different when it's loud. Especially this song. Riders on the Storm, not so much, but this song.
I feel that.
Yeah, this song, yeah.
A rager, to say.
A rager, dare I say.
There you go.
Yeah, I get Rager vibes for sure.
Definitely.
Maybe a little bit of Mosh vibes.
Mosher.
Yeah, Mosher for sure.
And this maybe doesn't have as obvious hooks as some of the other songs, so it might take a few more listens to really get into it. I don't know. But I think it has a great musical opening, and the lyrics get your attention right away. And again, some of these are poetic, some aren't, but the day destroys the night. That's a great line right there.
The night divides the day.
And the night divides the day. But the best lyrics are, I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Who wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that? But wait, this is Jimmy, Dark Jimmy. So the next line comes, arms that chain us, eyes that lie. Ouch. I just love it. I guess he just broke on through to the other side. Excellent example, yes, Cale, of 60s psychedelic rock. And this one is short and very, very sweet. That wraps up our tracks. I would just like to leave you with some, before we do the vault, some thoughts about this band, The Doors. 3 long form classics, right? 3 songs over 5 minutes long that are absolute stone cold classic rock smashes.
Yeah.
Who besides Zeppelin and the Beatles can tout that? Is there anyone? I can't think of anyone. Then you add a half a dozen other hit songs, and all of this in a span of 4 years, about 4 years. And if that doesn't speak to the epicness of this band, I don't know what does. I will give an honorable mention to Golden Earring, who has 2 incredible long form classic rock hits.
What about Yes?
And nothing else, but
Yes.
yeah, and maybe not quite as big.
Yeah, that's fair. When you're going up against the Beatles and the Stones, yeah,
quite
probably
as big
not.
as Staples. One for sure, I would say,
Roundabout,
is.
yeah.
But anyway, but something to keep in mind as you mentally grade your greatest of all times,
Yeah.
perhaps. All right,
All right, so let me kick it off here.
vault time.
Similar
Welcome.
note, wait,
Oh,
Yes.
what about some other great Doors songs which we forgot about? If you like what you heard, might I suggest a few of my personal favorites as well? As I aforementioned, my second favorite of all time is probably The End. Another one that's great, Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship. Of course, 20th Century Fox is another great one. I'm just looking here. Oh, and Peace Frog, another one of my favorites as well. So if you like what you heard, dig deeper. Check out the B-sides and the B stuff that didn't make it on the radio. Because this band, for as much as I love the hits, there's also a ton of really, really good B-sides as well.
yes. Well, and now welcome to the vault. And here's
Oh
what I'm-
no, we forgot the eye recognition.
Oh yeah. All right. Here is what I'm pleading. Okay. Here's my case. We're in court. Welcome to court, boys. Everybody quiet down. My number one.
Order.
Order in the court. LA Woman is my number one. It's got the longevity. It's got the improv. It's got the rock. It's got the blues. It's got the funny lyrics. It's got
It's got the classic album cover.
It's got the classic album cover.
True.
It's got everything. Second one, Break On Through. Only because it is that short hit. Everybody knows it. Boom, it's classic. If you're not looking for the long song, fine. Break On Through is the next one. Third, maybe not third. It's not that's the third best. It's just like it's either got to be the long song or the short song, or it's got to be the other long song if neither of those ones passed it. So it's Riders on the Storm. man, it's the last thing James did. It's great. It haunts us still to today. I mean, there's a movie about it. I mean, it's got the improv again, the longness, the jazz, the improv, man. It's got everything. It's just like L.A. Woman. It's just personal preference, really. That's what I gotta say. Adjourned. I mean, I'd like to hear you guys' verdicts.
For me, it's simple. You guys familiar with the term ride or die?
Yeah.
If we're not riding in the storm,
All right.
we're dying.
All right. Okay. Do you back any of the other ones in case that's not unanimous?
I'll hear what everybody else has to say, but
All right.
we'll see if I have to think about this or not.
Okay.
This is tough because all three of those are really, really good choices. It's always good when there's too many good songs to choose from.
Yes.
Hmm.
And the hard part about it,
Man.
especially this week, is that it's not an album that we have to pick the best song from. It's basically an entire artist and band that we have to
It's
pick.
basically the greatest hits.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So like it's hard. We're
Mhm.
basically picking one
It's
song
not just
for a
that.
band.
The
You don't have to be
only
like that.
reason I'm leaning
Did you say
away
you kinda like
from
that? Shit, sorry boys, I'm lagging that bad.
You're good.
Stop.
the only reason I'm leaning a little away from Riders on the Storm is because I feel like there's just either that song is too I think that song's almost bigger than the band.
Mm.
I feel like that song sort of exists as a singularity and doesn't give a good enough introduction into the real sound or the most consistent sound when it comes to the rest of the tracks.
Yes.
That's why I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards LA Woman because of the Doors' connection to Southern California and the psychedelic movement and the sort of sexual undertones that this band had, because I don't think we played up the fact that Jim Morrison is like one of the biggest sex symbols in music of all time. He was almost like the psychedelic James Dean of classic rock, I would say. Him and Mick Jagger. Yeah, that's just my thoughts, but I'd be happy with either's. I'm leaning a little away from Riders on the Storm and a little bit more towards LA Woman.
I am definitely down with LA Woman and Riders.
Oh God.
Was LA your number one, Jack?
Yes, it was my number one.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Oh, Bart, it does have to be unanimous. What are you thinking? If he's here, even. Which would make it hard.
I don't know, man. LA Woman. I mean, I could maybe concede. I think if I was going to throw out a last ditch, if Riders wasn't going to get approved, I mean, I truly stand by Riders, but if I was going to throw one else out there, I think my second would actually be Light My Fire
Oh.
as my backup pick.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. I don't love LA Woman, but I'll concede to Cooler Heads. Maybe if that's the way the rest of you are if all three of you are going.
I am 100% in the boat of LA Woman. I mean, I'm looking around every time I get into a new city, and I'm seeing which way the wind blows every time from now on. So, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think Light My Fire's it.
No,
I don't think
definitely
it's
not.
it. I don't think it has the same iconoclast as some of the other ones. I would concede for, let's see what else.
Oh, we can't bring more songs into it. Come on.
No, don't do it.
All right. Okay.
Let's just override the guy who listened 1.75 times.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Sorry,
we're
Bart.
welding it in. It's being shut up, locked up. LA woman. That has been The Vault. LA Woman for the Doors of Perception has been locked in.
We doing that instead of rating, or do we do both?
I think that it's a playlist. I mean, we can give a rating, but it is weird to do it to playlist. So
I
think,
see. Yeah.
with
I get it.
yeah, with playlists, it's been a bit hard for us to rate it, I think.
Got it.
Yep. Now, is it my week?
It is.
Don't pretend you don't know.
I think it is my week, guys. And I'm bringing something that I don't think has quite been touched on the podcast yet. I think we're going maybe to Kale's chagrin. Not Nickelback, so don't be sad about that just yet.
Anything but that.
I think we're going
horrid band.
We're going pop. I think we're going recent pop. We're going
You can do that.
Straight radio pop.
Yay, radio!
Woo! But I think this guy does it well. 2019 album. No, this guy used to be in a boy band, infamously.
Who I think it is?
Styles, Fine Line is the album. That's the one we're gonna go for.
Yes.
I was introduced
Great choice.
to Harry Styles through my girlfriend, and I was very resistant because, he was in One Direction. And I was during the point where girls were all obsessed with One Direction, and it was a boy band, so I was like, but hearing through some of his last album, or the album before this, just Harry Styles, self-titled, he did a lot of kind of rockier tunes, which I was really into. He's got a great rock voice. So I would suggest you guys check that out as well. Some of my favorites are like Sweet Creature. Love that song from the last album. But we are going to focus on the most recent Fine Line album. It has been topping the charts since it came out. It's like the top searched for concert looked up for on like SeatGeek and sites like that. We were supposed to go see him last year as a birthday present for Jasmine, but COVID happened, so we are seeing him this year, I think, if it's still scheduled. September, and it should be a blast. He's got some great tunes, and I hope you guys will all enjoy him if you aren't already familiar.
Terrific.
Yeah, this will be. I haven't listened to like any of his solo stuff. If I've heard any of it, it's only by chance on the radio. So this will be fun.
Yep, and I do hope maybe you give maybe if I were to suggest, if you go back to the first album, there's 3 songs I would highly recommend. Carolina, Sweet Creature, beautiful song, and Kiwi are the songs that I am really all about. That I would suggest maybe writing down and giving a quick listen to. It could be a little bit of extra credit, but I would highly recommend you listening to it. They're a bit of a different type of feel from this one. So, yeah. We will talk about it next week. Is there any closing remarks that we have before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Nice to get together again, gents. Fun.
100%.
Good week.
Yeah, great week.
I enjoyed jamming.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will do it for Passing Notes this week. Thank you again for listening. If you would like to leave a comment, we will read it next week. We love to hear what you guys have to say. It's always a
blast hearing it, especially from Jason. We'll have to get him on again soon. He's always got albums in his head. I was just talking to him before this. Yeah, so maybe if you become a regular, you can get on the show. Wouldn't that be awesome? Huh? Wouldn't you just love
It's a
that?
sweepstakes.
Yeah. But
Hell
it's
yeah.
not guaranteed, so don't get your hopes up. Thank you guys for listening. Good night. Have a good one. Peace out.
Hey, Mark, stay on.